Alright, this week we're going to take a look at a great little portrait retouching tip here. Now, got to give credit to Scott Kelby for this one. He's the one that showed me this tip and really is a nice tip if you want to fix a nose, and honestly specifically if it's just a big nose and you want to reduce the size of the nose. It could be the person has a big nose, or it could be that for some reason in the portrait or the headshot that the nose just kind of looks different at the angle that it's at. So we're going to take a look at how we can fix that here. All you're really going to need to know is some basic knowledge in the layers palette, how to create a very quick selection, and then you also need to know how to use the free transform tool for this one. Alright, so got my headshot open here, and I've learned over the years that you got to be careful what shots you use when you're doing portrait retouching, and specifically when you're teaching it, because you don't want to use a picture that somebody knows or of somebody that you know. And if you actually do this stuff, you want to not tell the person that you've done it to their photo, because they may get a little bit of offended. You can get into some trouble here. So I'm going to use my own photo. I've got a big nose. It's my dad's fault. There's nothing I can do about it, and I know that I'm not going to get mad at myself for doing this in this tutorial. So let's go ahead and Control or Command plus to zoom in here. The first thing that you'll want to do is make a selection around the nose. So I'm going to use the lasso tool for this. That's why it helps to be zoomed in. And I'm just going to make a selection around the nose here and just give myself some area to work with. So don't want to get too close to the nose on all areas. Alright, so that's just a nice quick selection. The next thing I want to do is feather this selection. You'll see why in a minute, but I'm going to choose Select, Feather. I'm just going to enter in about 10 pixels here. Now, it's not a very high resolution photo. If you're working with a really high resolution sized photo, you might need to use 20 or 30 pixels for that, and just really experiment with it to see what works best for you. Alright, so now I've got a selection, and I want to take this selection of my nose, I want to put it onto its own layer. The easy way to do that, choose Layer, New, and then choose Layer via Copy, or you can just press Control or Command J. And what that'll do is that'll punch out that selection onto its own layer, but it leaves it on the layer behind it here. So you can see here's my original layer, and if I hide the nose layer that was on top of it, my portrait's still the same behind it. Alright, so next thing that we want to do is we want to free transform this layer. To do that, press Control on the PC or Command on the Mac and the letter T. And that brings up the free transform dialog box. I'm just going to zoom out one step here just so I can see the whole bounding box. Now the first thing to do, hold down the Alt key on the PC or the Option key on the Mac, and see this right handle here? Just click on that and bring it in. Watch what happens here. It brings in the left side too by the same amount. More importantly, watch what it does to my nose here. So let's escape out of there and Control T again and bring that and take a look at that. See what we've done here? Just by that very small adjustment, we've actually made a pretty significant change to the nose here. But we're going to take a little bit further here. Now, one of the things you can't do, I can't go in too far. Why we remember when we feathered that selection, we did that because it's going to give us some of that skin tone that's around the nose. It's going to help it blend with the photo behind it, and that's why we really can't go in too far, because it won't look natural here. So you want to go in just as far as you can until you start seeing the layer behind it. That looks pretty good. I don't look pretty good, but the fix looks pretty good here. Now, next thing you might want to do is maybe resize part of the top or maybe just part of the bottom. And the way you can do that, basically hold down the whole left-hand side of the keyboard, and I say that jokingly, but not really. Essentially, the shortcut is hold down the Control, Alt, and Shift, or on the Mac, it's Command, Option, and Shift, and click on one of these top corner points, and you can see how we can bring both in at the same time. Now, that's not really doing any justice, so I'm going to undo. Maybe the bottom will help here. I'll do the same keyboard shortcut, bring the bottom in a little bit. Now that looks better. It's kind of made my nose look a little bit too long here, so I'm just going to bring this bottom area up a little bit. And now see a little bit of discrepancy over here, so I'm just going to bring that out just a hair. And then any final touches, you might need to rotate it just a hair. That looks pretty good. After you're done, just press the Enter key, and that confirms or commits the transformation here, and take a look at the difference. I mean, all we've done is just a very few minor tweaks, and I mean, wow, look at that. That's before, and that's after, and it really makes you think that I had a big nose before, didn't I? So that's before, that's after. If you need to fix up any of the remnants in here, you can see I've got a little bit of a line. We can just go ahead and get a small brush here, maybe get our clone stamp tool and just go in here and kind of fix any small little lines that we may start to build up inside of there. So again, let's take a look here. Let's zoom back out to 100% view. That's before, that's after. So essentially we've just got a nice, quick, easy way to fix a nose right here in Photoshop. So hope you enjoyed this tip. If you got any questions, make sure you visit the forums on the NatMember website, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks.